Have you ever known exactly what you wanted to say in English and then completely frozen?
Oh, every single day in my first year.
Like the words are right there in your head, but the moment you open your mouth, nothing.
Or worse, something comes out, but it sounds so wrong that you wish you'd said nothing at all.
Yeah, and then you spend the next 3 hours replaying it in your head.
Welcome to Talk Better English with us. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mark, and today we're talking about something that nobody talks about in English courses. But it's probably the number one reason your English isn't improving, even if you study every day.
It's not your grammar. It's not your vocabulary.
It's the fear of being judged.
Okay, so Mark, let me ask you something. When did you first notice this fear? Like, when did you realize it was actually a problem?
Honestly, it was at a work meeting. I was in a room with native speakers. I understood everything. I mean, everything. And someone asked me a direct question.
And?
And I said, yes, I think so. That's it. That was my entire contribution.
But you had more to say.
I had so much more to say. But in that moment, my brain just shut down. And I kept thinking, what if I pronounce something wrong? What if they think I'm stupid? What if I mess up the grammar and they lose confidence in me?
So you chose silence over risk.
Exactly. And silence felt safe. But it wasn't, was it?
No, because silence has a cost too. You became invisible in that meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what's actually happening in your brain. And this is fascinating, I promise.
Tell me.
There's a concept called the language ego. It was developed by a linguist called Alexander Giora back in the 1970s. And it basically says this: when you speak your native language, you feel like yourself. Your full, confident, intelligent self.
Right, because you're not thinking about how you're speaking.
Exactly. But when you speak a second language, especially in front of others, you suddenly feel like a different version of yourself. A smaller version, less articulate, less smart, less you.
That's it. That is exactly it. You described it perfectly.
And your brain, which is designed to protect you, reads that feeling as danger. So it triggers the same response it would use if you were about to fall off a cliff.
That seems a little dramatic.
I know, but it's true. Stress hormones, cognitive shutdown, the urge to escape. All because someone might hear you say, I am go to the shop, instead of, I'm going to the shop.
Our brains are ridiculous.
Completely ridiculous.
But here's the part that really gets me. The people who judge us the most harshly are usually us.
100%.
Like native speakers, most of the time they're just impressed that you're speaking their language at all.
Right. The bar in their head is completely different from the bar in our head.
We think they expect perfection. They just expect communication.
And there's a huge difference between those two things.
Before we go deeper, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, yes, this is me, we want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Tell us your story. When was the last time fear stopped you from speaking?
And if this episode is already hitting home, subscribe, because every episode we go one level deeper into the psychology of learning English. Not the grammar, the real stuff. Okay, so here's the trap inside the trap. And this one is sneaky.
Uh-oh.
Most people, when they feel this fear, they decide to wait. They say, I'll speak more when my English is better, when I'm more confident, when I'm ready.
Which sounds completely logical.
It sounds logical, but it's completely backwards.
Why?
Because confidence doesn't come before speaking. It comes from speaking. You can't build the muscle without going to the gym.
So the fear never goes away on its own.
Never. In fact, the longer you wait, the bigger it gets. Because your brain learns, this thing is dangerous. I was right to avoid it. And it avoids it even harder next time.
So waiting for confidence is actually destroying your confidence.
Every single day.
That's kind of devastating.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so what do we actually do about it? Because just speak more is the most useless advice in the world.
It really is. Just be less afraid. Great, thanks. Problem solved.
So what actually works?
Okay, 3 things. Real things.
So you're basically tricking your brain into practicing.
Exactly. You're lowering the stakes while keeping the exposure real.
I love that.
Second, and this is important, decide what you're willing to get wrong. Before a conversation, tell yourself, today I'm okay with making grammar mistakes. I'm not going to stop mid-sentence to correct myself.
So you're setting the rules for your own performance instead of letting fear set them.
Exactly. Because fear will always set the rules to be perfect. And perfect is the enemy of fluent.
And the third?
This is my favorite. After a conversation, any conversation in English, ask yourself one question. Did they understand me?
Not, was my grammar correct?
Not, did I sound native? Just, did they understand me? Because if the answer is yes, you did your job. That's what language is. Communication, not performance.
That actually shifts everything. Like, the goal changes completely.
From being impressive to being understood.
That's so much more achievable.
And so much more real.
Let's do this practically. Sarah, say something to me in English, anything, and I'll respond as if I'm a native speaker who's judging every word.
Okay, this is terrifying. Yesterday, I go to the market and I buyed some vegetables.
Oh, nice. What did you get?
See? You didn't even notice the mistakes.
Honestly, I was already thinking about vegetables. Bide went completely over my head.
Because the message was clear.
The message was clear. That's it. That's the whole lesson.
We should have just done that from the start.
12 minutes of psychology, and it comes down to vegetables.
Okay, real talk before we close. If you've been waiting to speak more English until you're ready, until you feel confident, until you stop being afraid.
The wait is the problem.
The wait is the problem. Every day you don't speak is a day your brain confirms the fear is justified.
You don't need to be fearless. You just need to speak while you're afraid.
That's what fluency actually is. Not the absence of fear. The decision to go anyway.
That gave me chills a little bit.
Good. Remember it.
If this episode hit you somewhere real, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you haven't listened to our episode on the Overthinking Trap yet, that one goes perfectly with this one.
We're Sarah
And Mark.
TalkBetter.